So the first thing to do is find the period. So we begin with the original period of tangent of x. And for tangent of x, the period is pi. And then this 3 says take that original period and divide by 3. Next, we've got to look at vertical shift and amplitude. Well, usually we would look at this number, take the absolute value of it, 2, and say that's the amplitude. Although amplitude is supposed to measure how tall is the function. Tangent goes up to infinity and down to negative infinity. So then we would be saying, if you said that the amplitude was 2, you're saying that it's a height of 2, which is not true. So amplitude for this one is not applicable. Or you could say it's infinity if you really wanted to. Then vertical shift is 3. So either a positive 3 or that it's up by 3. And now for the graph, you've got the y-axis, the x-axis. The period is the length on the x-axis that it takes to create one cycle of tangent, or whatever the trig function is. If this were sine or cosine, and I came out with this as the period, then I would just go from 0 to pi over 3. With tangent, it's not quite so simple because tangent has asymptotes now, the length between the asymptotes has to be the period. So we're going to draw one graph of tangent in here, and the length has to be pi over 3. So to find out where these two asymptotes are, there's a couple of ways to do it. One is you say, well, the total is pi over 3. That means half of it has to be over here, and half of it has to be over there. So you could then take pi over 3 and cut it in half to find out that the asymptotes are at pi over 6. Yet another way you can do it is say, well, originally tangent has asymptotes at negative pi over 2 and positive pi over 2. But that would be if it's just tangent of x. Then because of the 3, you have to divide by 3. So divide by 3 or multiply by 1/3, and you get the same thing, pi over 6 and negative pi over 6. Alright, so there's no amplitude. Vertical shift is up by 3. So you can just say right here is up by 3. And then have tangent go on to the asymptotes. Now usually tangent on this side would go up and on this side would go down. The last thing to consider is that this negative inverts that. So what used to go down is going to go up, and this side used to go up, so it's going to go down. And then double check with the graphing calculator. 3 minus 2 tangent of 3x. And now I need to adjust the window to go from negative pi over 6 to positive pi over 6. And then the y values, just make them fairly large. And then we should see something looking like this. Crossing at 3, very good. And then curves down